morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Cancel here, the host of the Boricua BC2 show. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. I tell you, you know what I've learned in my 61 years on this rock is that sometimes it's the smallest things that make me happy, right? Really, it doesn't have to be big things anymore, fancy things anymore. Sometimes it's just the smallest basic things that make me happy. So why do I say that? Because this morning, as you all know, since it's Friday, it's time for the loser show. And I woke up to this morning to some great losing news regarding Anus Tangerines, or Napton America, as I try to call him now. He stole the Nobel Peace Prize. Couldn't have timed it any better for the losing show. So thank you, President Trump, for doing that. It's just going to, again, I'm just going to reiterate how much of an imbecile you absolutely are in the show today. So thank you for that, sir. So let's go through the top 10 stories regarding Trump losses this week. And again, as a reminder, this show is very important for people to watch because it really reinforces the fact while we are very upset, very angry, very crazed about what's going on, he is still losing. Still losing. I keep saying this on every show. This show has been on for months now, and I still have a litany of things to report. That's a good sign, people. Keep the faith. So let's get started. Number one, obviously, we just talked about the loss of the stealing and the hijacking of the Nobel Peace Prize. There's so many things to unpack that. I mean, it proves that he's an infant. It proves that he's a narcissist. It proves that he's got the maturity of a 6-year-old. And it does nothing. Nobel has already come out and said you can't transfer it. It's not going to recognize it as a true award. So who is he trying to impress? He can't go around to people now and say, look, I told you I finally got the Nobel Peace Prize. I finally got it. No, you didn't. You stole it, you moron, and the entire world knows you did. So, again, who are you trying to impress? Republicans are probably laughing at him. But they deserve it because they don't want to do anything about it. So this is what you get, right? Number two, I started reading up about this morning. Vague healthcare plan backlash. Epic disaster. 3,427,197. Not going anywhere. From the details that I read, it's not a complete swash for ACA. He wants to pay you instead of paying instead of subsidizing the insurance companies. So when I tried to research to see how much they're going to actually pay American people to do this, the number being touted around right now, because no specific number has been agreed to yet. Hint, hint, nod, nod, wink, wink. But the number that they're tossing right now is $1,200. $1,200. I fucking pay $900 a month for my health insurance. So $1,200 is supposed to cover me for a month. What about a family of four? So what I've been reading up on about this healthcare plan is that it's really just nothing more than a framework for healthcare that he's going to push as a healthcare plan, which is going to take years to deliver on, if at all. And he probably won't be able to do it in his administration because he'll be long gone by then, right? So it's a framework, and that's how I think everybody here should treat it, as a framework. It is not a healthcare plan. Look it up. The data is out there. Very simple to find. This one I found very interesting. This is by Reuters. A new Reuters Ipsos poll shows Republicans divided over Trump's aggressive immigration policies, with record low immigration approval at 40% and broader disapproval even among GOP voters. You know, he tried to unite the country on the border issue, and he has completely failed at that. And now it has epically backfired again because people are starting to wake up that this is not what we voted for. This is not what we signed up for. And it's just far too much aggression. Innocent people are being detained. Innocent people are being shot in the fucking head. Number four, this is by Chatham House. Excuse me. Trump's overall declining poll numbers. Independent analysts note Trump's popularity waning as he enters the second year of his presidency, with disapproval rising in national tracking. Why it's a loss? A sustained dip in approval undermines Republicans' bench prospects in 2026 and signals broader trouble. Now, let's take a pause there for a minute and jump into the midterms. I'm really at a loss with the midterms right now. It is January 16th, and the Democrats are being very, very quiet about their positioning in the midterms. Don't see the platform yet. Don't hear the platform yet. Don't know who the players are yet. Don't know. And as a reminder to everybody who's my age, tomorrow will be November 6th. Even though today's January 16th, tomorrow will be November 6th. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. So why we're not preparing and moving and so on and so forth as early as now, I don't know. On the flip of that is the Republicans. I've heard rumblings that they know they're going to get decimated in the midterms and so on and so forth, but yet they don't want to do anything to minimize their blood loss that they're going to get in November. Which, to me, I find shocking. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say, oh, because we're never going to have elections. No, stop that. We're going to have elections. So why are they not taking advantage of it now before it's too late? I mean, if Republicans find Jesus, excuse the French, but they find Jesus in August of this year and say, no, we're done with Trump, we don't want him anymore, they're out. They're out. Conversely, if the Democrats find Jesus in August, they're out. We got some tough months ahead, people. I'm not quite sure where all this is going, but people need to get their shit together on the Democratic side. Speaking of which, House and Senate GOP still stuck on budget Homeland Security. Although Congress passed more spending bills, a looming Homeland Security funding deadlock remains, fueled by controversies tied to ICE and shooting during enforcement actions. That's by AP News. Why is this a loss? Republicans still can't clear internal funding hurdles, risking a government funding crisis again. This is interesting because, again, some Republicans are, in my opinion, know that what's happening with ICE is bad. Okay? Back to the Democrats. Democrats sounding alarm on GOP congressional influence. National Democrats are pounding Republicans for alleged overreach and interference, amplifying a narrative that Trump's actions could harm Republican 2026 prospects. That's by PBS. Why is it a loss? GOP messaging now includes significant blowback from Democratic framing. Again, this goes back to what I just said before. What are the Republicans thinking? It's not like Trump fucked up just for one day. It's easy to overlook. He's a senile, demented old man. He's easy to overlook. He has messed up for a year. And he's going into the second term amplifying that mess up. Why would you still want to support that? Specifically when you know it's going to fail. Why would you still want to support that? And they wonder why I left the party. Number 7, this is by AP News as well. Congressional concerns over Trump Venezuela strategy. Even some Republicans have voiced worry about Trump's handling of Venezuela, with lawmakers expressing discomfort about U.S. actions in foreign policy oversight. Why is this a loss? Foreign policy missteps can widen ideological issues within the GOP. What's missing from that story, which has been reported all over this morning, is that the first recipient of dollars from the sale of Venezuelan oil was a Trump mega donor. Not the Venezuelan people, like Marco Rubio and Donald Trump said would get the money. A Trump mega donor was the first one to get money. That doesn't reek about corruption, does it? Does that smell fishy at all? Anybody? Okay. Back to immigration. GOP is fumbling on immigration governance messaging. This is by, I can't see, but federal policy actions meant to clamp down on immigration have spurred public protests and criticism, complicating the GOP narrative about border security. Why is it a loss? Moves intended to show strength on immigration have instead led to controversy. So they tried to portray this strongman attitude, or we have to protect the border, we can't let people in the country, to just shooting people in the head now. That message has been lost, and shooting people in the leg now. That message has now been lost. And by the way, that's a very hard message to try to come back from now. Media is having a last one, number 10. Media is having a grand old time with the Nobel Peace Prize announcement from last night. Hosts and media outlets mock Trump, uh, especially highlighting the optics of him accepting a symbolic peace prize that he never officially won. I'm really curious about the Peace Prize thing because I really want to know what is he going to do now? Is he really now just going to brag and say I won the Nobel Peace Prize? Is that what he's really going to say? Or is he going to say that the Nobel Committee made a mistake and Maria Machado did the right thing with the mistake? Is that because he's not going to not talk about it. He's going to talk about it. I expected today he's going to make some grand announcement that he's the Nobel Peace Prize winner. Hmm. And then obviously number 10, back to Venezuela. This is by CBS News. Ongoing complexity for Venezuela's situation. Trump's celebrated capture of Nicolas Maduro has led to mixed messaging with debates about U.S. control in Venezuela and how to stabilize the region. Not a clearly political win for Republicans. Why is it a loss? What was pitched as a bold foreign policy move is now fodder for confusion and opposition critique, which we've been saying since the night Maduro was taken. This would epically backfire. Why? Because there was never a plan. And that is Trump. Trump doesn't have plans. Trump just does shit and then tells his minions to fix the mess that he just created. And here we are again. So that's the loser show, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed that today. And we'll be back tomorrow for the winning show. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.